I am the Crassin, and this is a Cryo-Archer, a unique hybrid build that's part Frost Mage and part Combat Archer. Like many hybrid builds, the Cryo-Archer uses two types of attacks. Other hybrid builds, such as a Spell Sword or a Battle Mage, also use two types of attacks, one ranged and one melee. The Cryo-Archer is unique in that it uses two ranged attacks, but no melee attack. A typical combat scenario for a Cryo-Archer is to throw down a barrage of frost spells, then, when magic is low, deploy a distraction, such as a Frost Atronach, and switch to the bow. A Cryo-Archer only uses frost spells and frost enchantments for dealing damage, although there will be other enchantments in use. By the way, there will be a walkthrough starting very soon so you can see a quick and easy way to build your own Cryo-Archer. We're going to talk about the Cryo-Archer's weapons, armor, skills, and perks, but before we do, let's briefly go over her backstory. She was born on a small farm near Windhelm. Her father would often go on hunting trips to obtain food for the family, but did not take her along as he felt she was still too young. When she was 12, her father died from rockjoying after a wolf attack on one of his hunting trips. She realized it was now her responsibility to take on the hunting duties. She picked up a bow for the first time and liked it. A lot. Through her teenage years, she became very proficient with a bow. She loved exploring the land, loved Skyrim, and was very comfortable in the cold, snow, and ice. So comfortable, in fact, she became interested in harnessing the power of frost and ice through magic. Her mother would quickly try to dissuade her from this, saying things like, "Magic is for the weak." When she wasn't hunting or helping around the farm, she would read many books her mother provided. Books about Skyrim, the plants, the animals, and notable figures in Skyrim's history. She read about Talos, Ysgramor, and other heroes of old. She was a true Nord, and felt a strong kinship with them. So strong, in fact, she would often ask her mother if they were descendants of one of them. When she was 17, her mother died after a long illness. She felt like this was the time to learn about frost magic, and headed north for the College of Winterhold, only to be promptly turned away for being too young. Not to be denied, she sold the family farm, packed a bag, and started heading south. Her destination was the Synod Mages in the Imperial City, but she would never make it there. She planned to stop for the night at Darkwater Crossing, and as she got close to it, she wandered into an Imperial ambush and was taken prisoner and carted off to Helgen for execution. We all know what happened from there. After retrieving and delivering the Dragonstone to Farengar, she helped kill the dragon at the Western Watchtower. It was here that she learned she was Dragonborn. Her reaction to learning this was not one of surprise or shock. In fact, her reaction was more like, well, of course, why wouldn't it be me? So let's pop the hood and see what makes this build work. As you can see, I have her kitted out in Stalorm heavy armor, boots, and gauntlets. Let's break this down because I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why I'm not using light armor, which is completely understandable and viable. You can absolutely use light armor for this build. I chose heavy armor for one reason: the Mask of Dukan. This mask is rated as heavy armor, and in the heavy armor perk tree, which we will go over in a few minutes, there is a perk called Well Fitted, which increases your armor rating by 25% when wearing all heavy armor. Dukan's mask is one of the key items in this build. It grants the wearer 50% frost resistance and increases the damage from frost spells and frost enchantments by 25%. Since Nords have 50% frost resistance already, the addition of Dukan's mask will max out our total frost resistance. Stalorm armor also increases frost resistance. So with this build, Stalorm armor, it's really not necessary. I only chose it for the aesthetics. For enchantments, well, we've already talked about Dukan's mask. On the armor, I have Fortified Destruction and Magic Regen. On the boots, I have Fire Resistance and Shock Resistance. on the gauntlets, bow damage, and increased magicka. Both the ring and necklace get Fortify Archery and Fortify Destruction. You could enchant a second pair of boots with, say, stamina regen, or extra carry weight for traveling, or you could substitute one of these others for magic resistance if necessary. But we carry potions, so I think we're in good shape with that in our enchantment on our boots. The weapon of choice is a Skyrim bow, enchanted with frost damage and absorb magicka. Chaos damage would pair very well with the frost enchantment, but remember, we'll only be dealing damage with frost enchantments and frost spells. Absorb magic does not cause damage, it only siphons away magic, refilling our magical pool, so that after 3 or 4 shots, magic is fully restored and you can return to delivering damage with frost spells if desired. Stolen weapons enchanted with frost damage will boost the damage by an additional 25%. The only drawback to a Skyrim bow, pun intended, is the draw speed. It is one of the slowest bows in the game. A dragonbone bow would be a good alternative. You would not get the 25% boost to frost damage, but it is a much faster bow. Don't bother with ebony or daedric bows, they're actually a bit slower than Skyrim. Spells will change throughout the build, but in the end, Ice Storm and Icy Spear will be the spells of choice. Sometimes used together, other times used separately while dual casting. Now let's talk about the perks. In heavy armor, take 1 perk in Juggernaut, well fitted, then work your way up the left side of the tree to get the conditioning perk. This will make any worn armor weightless and not slow us down. This perk is crucial for this build. You can see that my armor rating is 381, and you may be wondering why I've not put any more perks in the Juggernaut. And the reason is because it isn't necessary. I did not use any Fortify Smithing equipment or Fortify Alchemy equipment when I improved this armor. If I had, I would have easily reached the armor cap with only 1 perk in Juggernaut and well fitted. Why well fitted and not 2 perks in Juggernaut? Easy. Juggernaut is 20% each rank. Well fitted is 25%. Simple as that. Next is Archery. Take all 5 perks in Overdraw, Eagle Eye, Power Shot, Quick Shot, 1 rank of Critical Shot, which we really don't need, Hunter's Discipline, which we really don't need either, but we need those to get to the Ranger perk. This one we definitely want. This perk will allow us to move at normal speed while having a drawn bow. Personally, I don't like the steady hand perks, but you can take them if you like them. The Bullseye perk sounds good, but in practice, it's not. First off, it does not trigger very often, but the bigger problem is in the way it happens. As soon as you release an arrow, the game will calculate whether or not the paralyze effect is triggered. If it is, the target will immediately fall down. This can be a big problem because, depending on the distance, the target could fall down before the arrow arrives, causing the arrow to completely miss your target. The paralysis effect can be fun, but let's remember, the purpose of the shot is to deal damage. All of your damage is coming from your bow, your arrow, and any enchantments on the bow or poisons you may have applied. All of this is wasted if your target falls down and the arrow misses. I think this perk at times is actually detrimental, so I'm skipping it. Perks are precious. Don't waste them on things that don't yield a positive effect. On to Destruction. Grab Novice, both ranks of Augmented Frost, Deep Freeze, Destruction Dual Casting, and Impact. That's it. We'll reduce cast costs through enchantments. In Conjuration, take Novice, Apprentice, Adept. Come over to the left side, grab Summoner rank 1, Atromancy, and Elemental Potency. This will allow us to summon a potent Frost Atronach, which makes a great meat shield. They don't do a lot of damage, but they can tank very well. Twin Souls is optional. I've been doing well with one Atronach, but having two certainly wouldn't hurt. In Alchemy, grab all 5 perks in Alchemist, Physician, Benefactor, and Poisoner. That's really all you need. You can grab Concentrated Poison if you want, but really this is all we need. In Enchanting, take all 5 perks in Enchanter, work your way up the middle with Insightful Enchanter, Corpus Enchanter, Extra Effect. Then grab Fire Enchanter, which we don't need, but it allows us to get the Frost Enchanter perk, which we definitely need. As you can see, Frost Enchantments on weapons and armor are 25% stronger. We definitely want that. Lastly, there's Smithing. Grab Steel and work your way up the heavy armor side, grabbing Dwarven, Orcish, Ebony, and if you want to craft Stalrim armor, you'll need a Daedric Smithing perk as well. And don't forget to grab Arcane Blacksmith in order to improve Dukon's Mask. Alchemy is very useful for many builds, and the Cryo-Archer is no exception. Beneficial potions include Fortified Destruction, Fortify Marksman, Resist Fire, Resist Shock, and Restore Health. Ingredients for Fortified Destruction are Glowing Mushroom and Nightshade. Fortify Marksman can be made with Elves Ear and Juniper Berries. To make Resist Fire, use Bone Meal, Dragon's Tongue, or Snowberries. Ingredients for Shock Resistance include Blue Dartwing, Snowberries, Glowing Mushroom, or Swamp Fungal Pod. Common ingredients for Restore Health are Blisterwort, Yellow Butterfly Wing, and Wheat. Useful poisons for a Cryo-Archer are Lingering Damage Health, which can be made with Imstool, More Tapanella, or Orange Dartwing. Another is Paralysis, which can be made with Canis Root and Imstool. Keep in mind, this is not a complete list, just some commonly found ingredients. Let me take a minute to remind everyone that there will be a walkthrough of this build starting very soon, so make sure to check back for that. The last thing we'll go over is shouts. Shouts that are most useful for a Cryo-Archer are Slow Time, Cyclone, Frost Breath, Ice Form, Disarm, Marked for Death, and Become Ethereal. Frost is a difficult elemental to use in Skyrim due to so many people and creatures resistant to it. Unsurprisingly, there are a lot of Nords in Skyrim, as well as Draugr and vampires. Also, any creatures with the word frost, snow, or ice in the name, such as frost trolls, snow bears, and ice wraiths, all have some amount of frost resistance. So why even use frost? For the challenge, of course. Also, frost damage has a slowing effect that can sometimes cause melee fighters to become nearly immobile, which is both helpful and hilarious. So what about frost dragons? How do we handle frost dragons? Well, let's take a look. Dual casting Icy Spear staggers the dragon, and the Absorb Magic enchantment on the bow quickly refills our magical pool, as well as causing additional damage. And there you have it, the Cryo-Archer, a unique blend of Frost Mage and Combat Archer. Thanks for watching, and don't forget the walkthrough that will be starting very soon. Stay frosty.